I'm Chris Short. I work at Red Hat. I'm also a Cloud Native Ambassador with CNCF. And I'm here to talk about communications in the Kubernetes community. So, who here is on the Kubernetes Slack and is completely overwhelmed by it? Not Jeremy. Jeremy had his hand up and then he put it down, but everyone else is overwhelmed. So, totally understandable. So here's the thing. It's cool. Everybody's overwhelmed. Let's be overwhelmed together with Slack. The Kubernetes community is probably the most embracing community that I've ever been a part of. And keep in mind, I've been working in open source since I was 15 years old. I'm almost 40 now. So that's a lot of generations of communities, including the Linux kernel itself, Ansible, and now Kubernetes. So why that is? Why do we make it safe for everybody? Why is it so important to us? Well, if you're chill with everyone, things get done. I think that's been the biggest part of Kubernetes' impact on the world, is that it's showing people that large open source projects can work. Why is everyone so cool, though? Why is it so cool to work with everybody? Well, we have a code of conduct. And mutual respect is the prerequisite, basically, for healthy collaboration and communication. We kind of practice this at Red Hat, not as openly as the Kubernetes community does, obviously. But like, I could go to anybody in the Kubernetes community with a problem, like Gwen did, and like I can castigate them and be like, why? Like, it shouldn't be like this. This is against protocols or RFCs or whatever. And they would be like, yes, your feedback is appreciated. However, we have this code of conduct thing, you know, and they would address it and move on. But the idea is, everyone's cool with everyone. There's no such thing as bad feedback, right? There is a way to present bad feedback that is also bad, but we avoid that. Why? Because we all live and breathe the code of conduct. Please read it. It's not a long read. It'll help you in the long run too. So, I work with Gwen all the time. It is super awesome. I work with a bunch of other people in other time zones all the time. It's super hard to do that. So how do we work? Well, we have to have places to ask technical questions, and it has to be pretty asynchronous. So that's where Slack comes in, but there's also other places. So for user-focused stuff, stick to Kubernetes users if you're brand new, Kubernetes novice, and if you have like specific questions, the office hours that we do on a regular basis, that George and everybody else puts on, they're amazing. Jump in. There's still 2 time zones, I think, going into 2020 for the different sides of the earth. So jump in there if you have any kind of question. I've jumped in there and asked questions before. There's, like I said, hard or not hard. You can ask questions anytime. Kubernetes dev is going to be, as far as the mailing list goes, if you're part of that, you're part of Kubernetes. As far as the channel goes, it's pretty noisy. Well, wait, is Kubernetes dev noisy? No. The mailing list is noisy. Anyways. So there's places to go in Slack. If you're not already on there, get registered, log in, and go to some of those channels. There's also Discuss. Discuss is new, but it's a great place for us to like pen messages and have people respond. So like, if you needed someplace, I think George set up a Discuss like page for, hey, I don't know anybody here, and I need to hang out with somebody. Uh-oh. And we lost the other screen. Awesome. Sorry. So if you have like a general question in a forum style, you think it could be best answered, look and Discuss first. It's probably there. If not, put it there. So if you need something specifically, you know, that's like very Kate specific, head over to general discussions. If you're looking for like release announcements and stuff like that, announcements. And regional discussions, there's different region-based communities that we've set up and discussed too that have different moderators. So those discussions can be had on a smaller scale, right? Like, because me sitting in the US talking to people in Australia, right, like that's fine, and I can do that, but Australians have like different IT providers and everything else, and like I don't know anything about them. So it would be cool if Australians could talk to Australians and there was a place for it. Done. So yeah, there's stuff like that too. So there's also a contributors channel, and everything that you could possibly imagine that could need to be posted on a forum is there. Thank you, everybody that has made Discuss possible. That'd be Bob, George, and a number of other people. All right, how do we plan? How do we talk? So, mailing lists, that's the majority of it. Be ready to have fun with your mail filters, whether they be Gmail or your client on your phone or laptop. They all run on Google Groups, so there's many, many ways to filter and control the flow of information. The biggest thing is join Kubernetes Dev. That is required for organizational membership. So if you're not part of Kubernetes Dev, you're not going to be able to commit anything into the K8s repo. The mailing list is noisy. Just remember that. I have a flag, it's color-coded, it goes to a certain directory. If certain people chime in, like with my name, it comes up to the surface for me. But you can manage it however you see fit. It is a lot of noise. A lot of it you probably don't need initially, but a lot of it is useful too. So check in every once in a while, put it in its own label or box, and make sure you're checking in every few days or so. All right, so every SIG or working group also has its own mailing list. So like I'm part of SIG Contributor Experience, so we have our own mailing list. Gwen is on the release team, they have their own mailing list, so on and so forth. GitHub is kind of how we make things happen in the code base. So issues, I have a problem with Kubernetes. I think this might be a fix. But I have this problem with it, and I don't know if it'll work. Help me, help me, help me. And then once you get to a point where you feel like this is a good feature, create a pull request. Pull request gets accepted, into the code branches it goes, and fun, fun, fun. I'm not having a good time up here because my notes are missing, so forgive me. Yes? Questions? Microphone. That's me.
So you mentioned issues you can be opened for just an issue you have, and then you open a pull request? So like issues turned into features all the time, or can issues immediately translate to a pull request?
So this is a GitHub Workflow thing. So I'm going to hand it to Gwen, who actually works on GitHub, to explain the GitHub Workflow. Like everybody, this is Gwen, the SRE from GitHub.
Hi. We have an open source style GitHub workflow, and we actually have a diagram on a later slide that will show you exactly what to do. When I did the demo earlier today, basically, you look for an issue when you start out. Probably your best bet is to look for a good first issue or try to find someone in a SIG to work with something. But if you are in a situation where you found a bug and you're the only one who knows about it and you want to fix it and it's a small enough bug, go ahead and go straight to pull request. We have sort of squishy rules. There is no requirement. You must file an issue first and gather a consensus and all that. Our maintainers live all over the world. They are very busy. And the less cruft and turnover you create for them, the more likely it is that your patch will be merged. So if you're literally asking, does every pull request need an issue? No, it does not. In fact, some pull requests all refer to one issue. There are sometimes multiple issues that get solved by the same pull request. Ask questions, keep discussing. Discussions happen on issues and pull requests. There's no issue police.
And a number of the features that GitHub has put in place lately are super helpful. So like if I made a commit to change a documentation page and there was a typo, somebody could drop in and be like, hey, fix this one thing. I could do it right there in the pull request, done. So GitHub is actually very helpful for us. And we use GitHub very heavily. Right, Gwen? Yes. Also, Zoom meetings. So which meeting is this? This looks like a release meeting or maybe a community meeting. But we all get together once a week for community meetings. And then we also get together for various SIG meetings, which are based on your SIG's, agreed to time. Contributor Experience also has meetings for different time zones as well. Those are super fun for me because I get to join and I'll wear silly hats. But yes, we extensively use Zoom, so be prepared to use Zoom on your laptop if you're going to work with the community path today. If you join meetings, they will likely be in Zoom. There's a community calendar for all the various meetings that are out there. I mentioned the weekly community meeting. It's an overview of all the activities. We typically do some like demos at the beginning of the meeting. We will have release updates. We will have an overview of things going on in the community to just kind of keep people abreast of the situation. There's also special meetings for SIGs and working groups, and always the code of conduct applies. Like I said, it is what makes the community so embracing and helpful. Other communications, Kubernetes.io/community. There's links to everything community related, minus, I think, the contributor handbook, which we just found out. So I'm going to work on that later. That'll be a pull request. We have a YouTube channel, too, where you can find all the previous meetings. I wanted to throw that in here. There's a Meet Our Contributors meeting monthly, where you can like sit down and have a conversation on a smaller scale than this with contributors. But that'll be through Zoom. Like I mentioned earlier, the office hours are all done through Zoom and Slack. So they'll be recording on Zoom, answer questions that come in live on Slack. And events like this is where we do a ton of communication face-to-face. So all the various SIGs, working groups, everybody else are having meetings this week face-to-face, having in-depth discussions, and bringing in remote people that can't make it through the normal communication channels, issues, and PRs, and so forth. And then meetups. If you are in a if you are in a Kubernetes-related meetup, CNCF is willing to help you with that. So I mentioned I'm a cloud native ambassador. CNCF is willing to pay for your meetup fees, pay for some other things for what it takes to run a meetup. You just have to apply. Go to, I think it's cncf.io/meetups. There's also a link right here in the slides when you get them later. So if you run a meetup or want to start a meetup, look for one in your area first. See if it's CNCF affiliated. If it's not, tell them, hey, you can get help from CNCF if you just do this. There's meetups everywhere. There's 2 different meetups in the Detroit metro area related to Kubernetes. It's pretty cool. There's probably one near you. If not, and you can find 3 or 4 people that want to get together once a month, just create a meetup. It's super fun. All right, so here's all the reference links. Community meeting events right there is where you're going to find notes to, or links to notes, links to how to join, schedules, everything else for the community meeting. Highly encourage you to join that or live stream it on YouTube. We also do that as well. Thanks to the hard work of people like George, Jeff, and Bob. And Bob just walked in. Hello, Bob. Just as I thought about him, he arrived. That's kind of creepy, but anyways. And I think I keep going, right? Yeah. Okay, so community values. Distributed is better than centralized. Why is that? Well, we're building distributed systems. It's kind of Conway's law, right? The organization we build will end up being reflected in the code we put out. So this is why we say this. Community over product or company. I work for Red Hat. When I come on to the Kubernetes community, I'm part of the team, right? Like Red Hat has its product stuff, but Red Hat makes sure I'm insulated from its product stuff enough to be part of the community. And I don't try to inject Red Hat things into the community. I have a very firm firewall there, and it's part of my morals and ethics. So we try to make sure everybody adheres to that. Evolution is better than stagnation, so action is better than inaction. But let's have pragmatic discussions about it. Remember that things happen asynchronously. Automation over process, we don't like to have run books. Like, oh, this thing happened, do this. No, that should be automated. And if the resolution can't be automated, well, we should work on it to make it automated. Then inclusive is better than exclusive. I don't use terms like guys. I use terms like folks and y'all, people. So think about that. Since being part of the community, my language has changed, not drastically, but it's more inclusive for others, and that's a good thing. And then the Peter Drucker quote, I could come up with 1,000 Deming quotes. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. You can have all the process in place you want, but the second bad culture comes in, it's over. Any questions after this slide? Sorry.